When we first started the National Center for Arts Research, we wanted to acknowledge that arts and cultural organizations don't exist in a vacuum, they exist in communities. So we wanted to understand what's the extent to which different community factors wind up having an effect on what you would expect of performance of any kind of arts organization. And there we're talking about financial and operating performance. And to do that, we said, let's geolocate the kind of pinpoint the location of every organization and then link it to its surrounding community characteristics in the data. And so this ecosystem view kind of lets us identify what are the factors that affect health from within the ecosystem. And those are the same ones that you see in the report. In other words, they have an impact that kind of to an extent drives arts organizations' performance. I'm excited to share that higher levels of funding for local arts agencies yield positive results for the community's level of overall arts vibrancy and its three underlying rubrics: arts providers, arts dollars, and state and federal government funding. Of the three, if we narrow in and focus on arts providers, we see that it actually has an impact, direct impact on each of the four underlying measures of arts providers. We find that local arts agency funding has significant positive impact on the number of nonprofit arts and cultural organizations, the number of arts and culture employees, the number of arts and entertainment organizations, and the number of independent artists. And all of these are reported on a per capita basis, so that large, medium, and small communities are all examined and recognized for their arts vibrancy along these different measures, and that local arts agency funding provides and supports growth in these areas in communities of every size. And if we break out the local arts agency dollars into kind of two large categories, so expenses that are actually invested in the form of grants, as well as expenses that are invested in the forms of public programs, for example, and personnel, we see that both of these big categories have the strongest impact on arts and cultural employees per capita, and they both boost the number of independent artists and arts, culture, and entertainment organizations per capita. Local arts grants in particular also boost the number and existence and support of more nonprofit arts organizations per capita in particular. So we're seeing that the funding of the programs of these local arts agencies, as well as the grant making, all of it make their communities pulsate with artistic activity, and they spur particularly strongly arts employment. What the findings show, they provide evidence that if you want to increase your community's overall level of arts vibrancy, support increased funding for the local arts agency. The investment is going to pay off. That's number one. Number two, any notion of kind of passing the arts support ball just to the private sector to handle, it's not going to have the same impact. In fact, doing so actually appears to be an inhibitor to the creation of the kind of local environment that's attractive to independent artists. So if you're looking to spark the creative economy in your city, know that the highest levels of arts providers per capita comes when there are higher levels of both private philanthropy and public arts funding. And we know that expanding public funding to higher levels actually tends to kind of spread the wealth and create a munificent arts environment with exceptional levels of arts providers. If we examine the impact of local arts agency funding, kind of coupled with non-local, so with the non-local arts agency funding, the entirety of public support, we see that public funding appears to be essential to geographically dispersed, arts vibrant cultural resources. These are really critically important to any community and to any city council, to any mayoral office that wants to see their local community really pulsate with life and vigor when it comes to arts and culture.
For more information about SMU DataArts research, please see the links in the video description and visit our website. Make sure you subscribe to our newsletter to stay up to date on the latest in arts research, and be sure to follow us on social media.